There is so much research on leadership, but a trend that I have noticed in the last couple of years is this push for a leader to embrace more coaching skills. Today, we are going to explore 3 coaching skills that every leader needs. You know, when everyone hears a leader needs to be a coach, we can assume, well, it's kind of like the coach of a football team. They have to get stuck in, they have to coach the people. And yet the coaching that's often mentioned in leadership studies is a different style of coaching. It's a much more receptive style of coaching. So stay tuned. Today we're going to explore 3 coaching skills that every leader needs, and you may well be surprised at a number of them. The first area that it's essential to look into developing if we want to lead and manage like a coach is our listening skills. You see, the very word coach connotes a receptive stance, that we're in receiving mode, that it's not exactly active in the sense of doing, but it's active in the sense of listening. You know, when I went to coaching school, I think one of the toughest skill sets that everyone in that class found the most difficult was to become better listeners. Because we get into so many habits, and especially in the world of work, where the pressure is to get things done, we've become accustomed to not really listen. We've become accustomed to faking our listening. And so if we're going to lead like a coach, it's important that we instill within ourselves some great listening skills. First point here that I would suggest is that our listening is also aligned with our body language. You know, have you ever had that moment where you come up to someone, you say, hey, I need to say something to you, and you just know from their body language that they're not engaged, that either they've taken a slight glance at their watch, or else their body language is that saying to you, look, I just don't have time. And so what's really important for us, therefore, is to create in our body language a message that's saying to the other person, I am receptive and I'm here to listen. Now, sometimes in an office setting, that can actually mean taking ourselves from behind a desk to go before the desk to sit with a person. Of course, now in COVID times, when we're listening remotely, what we really want to do as well is make sure that nothing is distracting us. You see, whenever we're at home in front of our computer, it's so easy to be distracted by all the other things in our desk. And so one of the things I would suggest is make sure that you've enlarged the video of the other person into the full screen, and make sure that you are focusing on that person. You want to give the message that I am actively listening. And then also be aware of some of the barriers that we run into when it comes to poor listening practices. You know, sometimes as a person speaking, we can get into habits of thinking about what our response might be. But you see, in the coaching mode, it's really not about the response. It's really not about having the perfect answer to the person. It's really helping them explore by themselves what they are saying and giving the feeling to the other person that we are receptive to everything they're saying. Now, I also want to talk about a really wonderful offer that I would like to give you today, and that is a free enrollment to an on-demand learning course that I recently developed called Emotional Intelligence Roadmap. You see, so many of the core issues that we're talking about today revolve around increasing our emotional intelligence. So if you scroll down after you finish the video today, you'll see a link to enroll in that course where we'll dive into some of the other dynamics of emotional intelligence. The second coaching skill that every leader needs is ask more questions rather than give answers. You see, in the coaching relationship, one of the things that's really primary is this ability to help another person explore their own lives and what's happening. And that exploration is normally driven by questions. You know, the difference between a coaching relationship and a consulting relationship is often boiling down to that. We hire a consultant to come in, to observe what's happening, and to give us potential solutions. That's not what a coach does. A coach comes in, observes, but asks deeper questions to help us uncover within ourselves some of the answers from within. Now, this is a skill that can be really tough for leaders because so often what's demanded from us is to give answers, solutions, to get things moving, to get things done. And again, asking more questions at times may seem the opposite. And yet I think more and more we're discovering the power of questions. Because so often we're moving at a pace where we're really not reflective of what's happening. We're moving just to get things done. We're moving because we're under intense pressure. And when we move that quick, we tend to miss things. We tend to miss things about the process. We tend to miss things about the people around us. And asking more questions deliberately slows us down, but also opens an opportunity for more data to be received, so ultimately we can help the person drive to more self-awareness, and ultimately we can make better decisions. The third coaching skill that every leader needs is that they are in it for the long haul. You see, when it comes to coaching, there are no quick fixes. Coaching is a longer process because development is a longer process. And very often, in this world that we're in, we want to see instant growth. We want to see instant development. And so often that's just not attainable. A person's development takes time. And so part of the coaching process is to have patience with the other person, to celebrate the gains when they happen, to ask the deeper questions so that they're able to explore, but also to be patient with them. And so sometimes what that patience requires is for us to hold back and to encourage them, especially when they feel they're failing. But then also sometimes it requires us to push and to challenge. And you can push and challenge with some wonderful questions which really drive them into a deeper awareness of what's happening. So the third skill is patience. It's really this process that we are coaching someone, and that growth won't be overnight, it'll be longer term. But because it's longer term, it's probably going to stick longer and be more indelible within the person. As a leader, you need to balance many different skills, but let me tell you, if you can integrate these three skills as a coach, I will promise you it will transform the way that you lead. If you've enjoyed today's episode, I invite you to watch another episode which looks at how we can develop our listening skills. And also I invite you to visit my website, irvinenugent.com. If you go there, there's a tab called Free Resources, and you can explore many different resources that I've put together, one of which includes helping you become a better listener.